Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'll be doing a very short poem called Famille 1979 by Paul Durcan. So no doubt Durcan has his own difficult childhood in mind here, which was darkened especially after the age of 10 or something like that. Why? Because as we see through the poems of his, that he had a very hard relationship with his father, a very complex one, very painful one. You'll see that in the poems like Sport and Madman, where they talk about this. So if you're combining poems, this is a good poem to add to these ones as well. So, Yet the Poet, the poem was written in 1979, when Durcan was around 35 years old, had two daughters of his own. The term en famille means together as a family, suggesting that the piece was inspired by the poet spending time with his children. Now, does Paul Durcan here reflect on the inability of his to have spent time with his father, or is just a mere, name of a poem, title? The poem represents a complex, double-sided view of childhood. Now, in one sense, childhood is depicted as a dark school. It is a school where we learn and develop, right? But it's also dark school, a place where the lessons learned can often be harsh, uncomfortable and scary, and the repetition of the phrase dark school powerfully reinforces this idea that I'm talking about here. It evokes a sense of tension in the tone of the poem and foreboding, as well as loneliness, a very lonely, slightly lonely given tone. So the poet longs to return to some kind of childhood, to revisit that dark period with all its brutal lessons learned, or harsh ones. It says, take me back to the dark school. Why does Paul Durcan want to go back there? Now, does he look for the simplicity of the childhood because, adulthood is very, tough to live? For a time when everything was either black or white or good or evil, there's no gray area, like this is why he's going back, or he wants to go back. Perhaps he longs to return to a more innocent state of mind because life has ruined his mental state. Or lacking, the one that lacks the complexity and uncertainty of the adult world, where things were just very easy. It is also possible that the poet is being ironic or sarcastic here because of the relationship between him and his father. He has, of course, no desire to return back to the, world that he lived in as a child because of all the horrible memories that he has, gathered since then. And on this reading, the words tiny and massive refer not to very much comforting certainties, but to victimization. They evoke how in childhood the small ones are often bullied. And you always think about, bullies as ones that are very much the massive, gigantic figures of high school that, hit on, like literally hit on younger ones. They evoke like basically how those adults, or maybe ones that have failed a lot of classes, are bullying little kids or students or even younger grades, and you see this in your own schools, guys. Anyway, those massive children are the ones that are always bullied or bully others. If you have any questions regarding this very easy, simple poem about where Paul Durcan talks about his life when he was a kid and how he wants to go back, or it's actually being sarcastic, let me know or drop a comment down below. Thank you very much and have a good day.